my dreams. As I look upon my life, there's a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dream.
Welcome. She's giving us a little intro there.
Whoops. We're live.
If you got a glimpse of her singing, it's not bad at all though. Thank you so much for joining us today. Yet again, another Gab Fest with girls.
Whoop whoop. Yes.
And yet again in studio, we have me, Evangelique Adams.
And me, Anka Hendricks.
And me, Jessica Dube.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop.
Guys, comment. Anka needs to wake up today, eh?
Yes.
She hasn't been feeling really well, so we're trusting that you keep giving your energy just so that she can feel a bit better today.
Yes, please. I need the emotional support, the moral support. I need it. So please do comment.
Sending loads of Amapiano energy your way.
Do you listen to Amapiano? Do you know what's Amapiano?
Yes, we know that I'm bad, but yes, I do know.
I'm just making sure you know what kind of energy we're going for.
I do know. High shame. I know I'm bad with the music scene, but yes, I do know what that is.
Welcome.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us. And it is a Talk with Joan Thursdays. But as you know, the Gab Fest has been running it for a bit, and we're praying for her to come back. But we're also really enjoying ourselves.
I am enjoying myself. I'm not
thank
gonna
you
lie.
for the support either way.
I find myself texting possible topics to Vag by Tuesday already. I'm like, Vag, look.
Jesse's really on that. And even after the topics, Jesse's like, I think I should have said. So it is really fun. We're really enjoying it. And we have, a part 2. The other day we were on the phone for like a whole 45 minutes with a part 2. But thanks so much for joining us. Thanks, Joan, for the opportunity. And let's jump into it, right?
Right on.
So last week we were speaking. We ended off last week with our opinions on the whole unmarried, on the whole Miss South Africa thing.
Yes.
And all three of us had very different opinions, which is not a bad thing because everybody has different opinions.
Yeah.
So it's nice when on a panel like this, there is those kinds of opinions so that you reach everybody and not just one kind of thinking space.
Yeah.
So I sent, I'm for the boycott. Like last week I was for the boycott. And then I found it so interesting after the Miss South Africa CEO did an interview with 702 with Clement.
Yeah.
And I was like, this just proves yet again why these people do not know what they're doing. You can have your own opinion, right?
Yeah.
But that's my opinion. I feel like the whole stance on what Miss South Africa is and what it actually is two totally different things. And I'm saying is, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And I don't think they portray what they say they portray. So you guys listened to the interview, right?
Yep.
Yes, we did.
And I want to know your thoughts on what did you think about this interview?
Well, based on my opinions of last week, they have completely changed. So remember we were saying that, maybe she can go and change she can have a platform to stand on and then speak about it. And then clearly with this interview, it basically just said that no, there's no such thing as when you get there, now you can change the world. No, you don't, because people really do this. So I've got kind of two opinions because people do this for their own personal interest. They want to, one day I want to be Miss South Africa, not knowing what is supposed to be behind the role. And, it's this glamorous role. They do paint it as a glamorous role. But going on and I'm for that. I'm really, it was a chance, it's something that she dreamed of. She wanted to be part of Miss Universe. So I am for that. But on the other hand, something that Clement Manyatela did say was that unfortunately, you can't separate the politics from this because she is representing South Africa as a whole. So that in itself is politically inclined, you're going to have to represent all our views And unfortunately, we don't all have the same views.
I'm in my head. I'm literally
Yeah.
just doing this because everything Anka is saying is exactly what I mentioned last week. Saying you don't
Yeah.
go as an individual. You need to think who lives in South Africa and who are you representing. All those kind of things.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can't say what religion I am in a pageant because I need to think about all the religions of South Africa, it's something the same with something like that.
Yeah.
This, sorry.
And for me personally, we always say, we speak about know your why, know your why. And unfortunately, her why and South Africa's why don't coincide. So, you know, and that's the unfortunate part. If it was any other country, she would have gone on to live her dream. But the reality is that this is so deep rooted in South African history itself. So you have to go and do research. Why is South Africa so deeply? Because last week, I'll be honest, I wasn't aware. I didn't go ahead and research. But this week, everything is just out in the open. There's just so much rich history that you have to go back and see. Okay, fine. South Africa did retract their support.
The government,
The
yeah.
government, yeah.
Yeah.
So they don't want to be involved. And you can understand why, because that will then politically implicate them in future things
Yeah.
as well. So, yeah.
Jess,
Now
what
everyone's
is-
looking at
because-
me and I'm like,
no,
what?
because you were the heaviest of what are the problems in South Africa. So let's hear it.
But,
We're
yeah.
not taking away that. I'm just
Yeah.
Because
that's
it's-
what she was doing
that-
last week.
but
That's
but
why.
that's why I'm saying that there is two sides. It's
There is.
like
Yeah.
there is two sides to this, and you can't just look at it from one angle.
yes.
Yeah.
But you can understand the larger picture now that you've gone and done your research. But at the same time, it doesn't negate what you
But
did say
at the
last
same
week.
time, I decided to jump in before Jess goes.
Yeah.
I feel because the CEO sounded like she doesn't know what's happening.
No, she missed the mark.
She missed
Yeah.
the mark.
A
But
little
that
bit, yeah.
also makes me say that did they have a conversation, which makes me actually worry
Yeah.
about her
Yeah,
dream.
yeah, yeah.
Specifically, I
Yeah.
can't pronounce her name. Miss South
Lalela.
Africa's Miss South Africa's reason. Is this really just I want the crown? Or are these people really entering to make a difference? And
Yes.
that's what came across to my mind I'm listening to this interview, because my mind was just going on this whole, okay, we're jumping off the fact that we're raising funds to make a difference, but it seems like people that's starting to hold the crown, they don't necessarily make the difference, because now they just, after the win, get model
Yeah. So
gigs.
look, this is where I'm at, right? So I still stand by what I said last week at
Which
the
is
fact
still
that
right.
South Africa or the South African government, to me, is being highly hypocritical. And here's a further example. So I went on Human Rights Watch and I went to go and look at just a snapshot of China's human rights injustices between 2020 and 2021. How they have evaded for such a long time until they couldn't anymore the investigations as to the origins of the coronavirus, speaking about how they have aggressively taken away the human rights of the different regions that are trying to get independence as nations. So I look at China, right? I look at what China is up to, the various different human rights injustices where labor is concerned, and so many other things, especially when it comes to children, for example. And I ask myself, has South Africa ever boycotted China? Have we said no to China's money? Have we said no to Chinese products? A lot of things, I stand to be corrected, but maybe 90% of the stuff we use in our country is made in China. We are so deep in our international relations, politics, and our standpoint on so many things with China, but China is a massive human rights, I want to say degrader, but I don't understand how we can't stand up to China, but we want to stand up to Israel. So I'm saying again, South African government, I just want to understand when you decide which countries you're going to be for and which countries you're going to be against, what are we looking at here?
Okay.
Are we only looking at our history, or are we looking at the present day things that countries are doing? So I just want to say the South African government is being highly hypocritical. There was a time our country refused entry to the Dalai Lama. We said the Dalai Lama can't come here. Why was that? Because we are so deep in our affiliation with China, our Chinese investment, etc. I put that on the side. Then I come back to this interview. So my opinion in terms of the South African government has not changed. My opinion about Miss South Africa herself and the organization, however, has changed in the sense that I've been waiting to hear Lalela speak. And I just haven't heard her come forward. Why was she not on the interview? And I feel like, yes, take time to figure out the politics. One thing I agree with what the Miss South Africa representative has said was that we can't just expect someone to just take everybody's opinions and just swallow them as her own. She must have time to digest. But why isn't she coming out?
Like a month.
Why isn't she coming out on her Twitter? I went on her Twitter the other day and it's quiet. And I'm like, but this is problematic. As Miss South Africa, if you can't face what's happening now with your own voice, I worry about the voice you're going to have on an international platform. You can't keep quiet for this long. If you are saying, if you think it's hot here, what's going to happen when you go there? When you go there and you must stand on a world stage with all the other miss wherever, and they're going to come through with their politics certain, where are you going to stand? So I feel like if she's not going to raise her voice in the country now and do so in a way that represents the voices of all South Africans, now I have a problem. So that's where I stand. I feel like if you're going to be so bold about you want to go, tell us what you want to go do there. Why is the representative of Miss South Africa speaking on your behalf?
And it's not even the representative, it's the CEO.
Why is the CEO speaking? But where is your voice? So I feel disappointed right now that she's been quiet for this long. The pageant is coming up now, and I feel like if you can't, whatever your opinion is, Miss South Africa, I feel like you must by now understand what the politics are.
Yeah.
Help us understand where your mind is at. And if you're going to go there, are you ready for protests that are probably going to happen, most probably when you leave the country? If you win, and also here's my other thing. If you win Miss South Africa, what do you intend to do with the platform? And I heard Clement also bring up the same issue. He was like, what does she intend to do with the platform?
Nobody can answer.
How you guys say she's going to engage? How? And also, I didn't like that the CEO was saying, we're not going to comment on the politics.
Yes.
You can't negate the politics right now. So that's where I stand. I still feel the government is being very hypocritical in terms of their international relations right now. Foreign policy, 0 for me. However, I now feel that Miss South Africa and the organization as a whole, I don't think she's ready for the magnitude of these politics when she leaves and when she comes back. If you become the Miss Universe that won in Israel, my girl, what do you intend to do with that platform and the weight that comes with that? And if you can't speak now, even if you just say, okay, I have heard every side, and what I intend to do is the following. Now I'm with you. But she hasn't done so, and I have a funny feeling that this whole thing is about her.
It is.
So I gave her time. I gave her a chance. You have lost me.
I think this whole thing just really highlights what Miss South Africa is really about. What the why is really about.
Yeah. So I just want to jump into the point that I understand all the other things that Jesse's saying, what's wrong with South Africa. And stuff like that. But I want to take it to everyday life in terms of friendship, whether marriage or something. In marriage, for example, or let's say friendship, let's say the three of us is best friends and you got me through such a difficult time in my life. But somewhere things went wrong. And years later, we come to terms again with each other. But now you need my help. I'm not going to turn away because in my mind, it meant so much what Jess and Anka did for me. That even though we're not speaking, Jess needs me now.
Yeah.
Anka, let's put our differences aside and let's help Jess.
Yeah.
If you take it to normal terms. And I think that's where South Africa is with Palestine. Lee, can you just put on that? There we go. So this is from back then when we were with apartheid, right? Nelson Mandela's words was, "Our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinians." Why? Because this whole, the Palestinians, this whole article is basically how they helped us out of apartheid and their boycotting. Keep in mind, going to pageant history as well, there was a time when we were coming out of apartheid that Miss Universe did not want South Africa to partake. And it was them who boycotted for South Africa to be in Miss
There's a
Universe.
rich history there.
The history is not even now only political, but they stood up for us to be a part of this pageant in the first place.
Yeah.
So that's also for me where it's like, guys, what's going on now? Because when it's good for you, you in. Boycotting then was okay. But now when it's for someone else, and that's where my thing with compassion always comes in. Yes, there's other problems in South Africa, but what makes those problems blind us from someone else's problems, right? And then my dad has gone to he went to a whole lecture thing about this, and it also opened his eyes a few years ago. And I know you won't be able to see, but I just want you to see the colors, right? So this is a poster of Palestine pre-1948. So the whole green is Palestine, right? There's no Israel. They were all living together. Between 1948 and 1967, the white is now Israel, and the green is Palestine. Currently, the green here is Palestine. So the reason why the government is on this whole, it's apartheid, is because this is what the white people, if we're going to be frank.
But
Yes.
Vange,
But-
this is what China is
I
doing
understand, but
to their people,
I'm
and we're
ask-
not boycotting
I
China.
understand that, but that's not the issue at hand now. So
Yeah.
I'm saying, let's not blind issues at hand with other problems. It's the same like in a marriage. You angry about your husband that said something to you 10 years ago, but now his socks is on the floor and we're fighting about the socks.
Yeah.
But the actual issue is that you disrespected me in front of a crowd of people and I didn't appreciate that you didn't say sorry. I feel that's what's happening when we say, let's take this away and let's deal with that. So my thing I'm just saying is that, yes, I don't say, okay, this one's right and that one's right. But when you look at something like this, look how big was this place. Where's all these people living now? How many of them have died? How many souls have been lost? If we're going to say, and keep in mind where Miss South Africa is being hosted, the actual auditorium is Palestine. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's not Israel's grounds. They took it.
Yeah, but I'm
So-
just saying that then South Africa. Here's my
I
issue,
don't want
Vange.
you
I
to
just
speak about the other things that's happening in South
But I
Africa.
feel
just
like-
specifically the topic at hand.
But I feel like South Africa can't do that. We can't be. It's like saying, it's like having a stance about something on one issue and not on all the others. Because to me, that's hypocritical. If I think about how, here's my question. As much as this is about our history and now we want to bring up Mandela, there are many other issues where we can bring up Mandela, but those things don't.
I
They don't.
understand
They
that.
don't hold. They don't hold the same in the present day. All I'm asking the South African government is the following: when it comes to where we stand on our foreign policy, is it money that counts? Is it history that counts? Because I cannot look at them telling a girl to boycott. Look, you know how I feel about the pageant. You know how I feel about her. I don't see the, what's the word? I don't see the authenticity anymore in her personal reasons or the organization.
Yeah.
My issue again is with South Africa telling somebody to boycott. I want to hear Chinese boycotts. Otherwise, in the same way you don't want her to go to Israel, why are we then, as a government, are you saying we must boycott Israeli products in our country? Is that what we're saying? Are we saying this is a thing against the Zionist community? Because now come out with it in the open. Don't make this an issue about Miss South Africa. You've got to broaden it entirely because it's just hypocritical from our government. Our government is
wanna
not
say
thinking
something?
clearly, guys,
But
at all.
just to come in there, I mean, guys, we've been under this government for how long? I've only been under it for a couple of years, but I think something that has been made abundantly clear about our government, that wherever, you know, the money speaks, that's where we go. You know, that's politics.
Yeah, and it's
So-
highly sad.
So that is the sad reality we're living in, and so China has other relations with South Africa, and I think it's very evident with what's going on here. So there's a whole different story going on there.
But they're doing the same thing, the
They're
same
doing the same
thing
thing.
that
I understand
Israel's
that.
doing to Palestine.
I'm
China is
saying-
doing to.
I'm saying this is what's happening now in the world. It's not just in South Africa. So I understand your opinions based on other relations. But this is not just South Africa fighting something. The rest of the world is also fighting the same topic. So I don't think that it is fair to say forget about it just based on our other relations. I'm not saying forget about those other relations as well. But this is what is the core at the moment and what the world is speaking about at the moment. We can't disregard it because of other issues. It is still the issue at hand. So that's just why we are bringing it to the table, basically.
All I'm saying is, South Africa, here's a mirror. That's all I'm saying. Go look in the mirror and go sort out your international relations policy, because right now it just looks very vague. So if you're going to tell Miss South Africa she's not supposed to go to Israel, hello, we need to look at these issues with China as well, because it's just looking a bit hazy to me. And as for Miss South Africa and her thing, I just think she really needs to think about what she's going to say if she gets there, because I don't think at this present moment, if you're not ready to face South Africans, I saw on her profile, she said there, I'm ready to reign as your Miss South Africa. And one thing I can say now is that I don't feel that she's come at this at an angle that makes me feel like she's responsible with the platform that she's been given. And they say she wants to engage, but she blocked that group. So I don't have trust at the present
The other
moment.
thing
I don't.
also is,
Yeah.
I think usually Miss South Africa is announced in March, and due to Miss Universe and they wanted her to go, they rushed the process. Because when you keep in mind previous years, the top 10, they had time to prove themselves. It's very easy to fake it until you make it for a month. That's all I'm also saying. Anka, you wanna add?
I think my opinion is summed up already. We understand the why of Miss South Africa as a whole. I think it's been abundantly clear that it's about people's own aspirations, about looking pretty, about let me reign. But we don't understand.
We
what
don't
it
understand.
means.
What do you want to do?
What does reign mean in that context? And because it's the whole thing is being publicized as this beauty queen and all of that, but it's dumbed down the actual responsibility
Quality of what they're
So-
supposed
and
to do.
This is just basically
And also,
brought it
I
out in the
understand what
open.
guys are saying about the money, but keeping in mind that Israel has all the support from all the first world countries. With this specific topic, I don't think it necessarily has to do with finances. With the others, it does, the other countries. But Israel is holding the financial side with this specific topic. So I think here it is about compassion, and we're losing it because we're just thinking. Anks, are you ready?
yes, I am ready.
Oh no, this is you, Jace.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So moving on to Black Friday. So I don't know. Tell me, how is your guys' sentiments and thoughts and feelings around Black Friday? We are exactly a week away, and generally Black Friday means we are about 30 days away from Christmas.
Yeah.
And this is when everybody's like rushing to get their Christmas shopping done. Everyone wants to fill their wish list. So how are you guys feeling about Black Friday this year? And just all
Do you
the
know
other
what,
years in
Nah?
general.
I've never ever taken a part in a Black Friday because
Neither have I.
my income was never at this time of the year. It's the first of every month.
Yeah.
And by the time Black Friday comes, my bank account is not really Black Friday worthy. So, so for me, I'm not really somebody that jumps to something like that because, like Anka said last week, we like cheap things. I generally, on normal everyday shopping,
Yeah.
I won't buy something because of the price as much as I like it. I'm thinking about yesterday, I went to the mall and there were so many things I wanted to take. And then I look at the price and I'm like, no, but I know, I know Pep pay us for this, but but I know I can get the exact same dress for the kids at Pep. And in my mind, I'm like, they're only going to wear it for the one day because it is white. I'm not going to struggle with that. It's for a specific event. Why must I pay 450 Rand for a white dangri as where at Pep I'm going to pay 89 Rand because it's just for that 3 hours.
Yeah.
So for me, on my everyday, I'm already hustling the sales. So Black Friday really means nothing to me. Another thing, once I did go into the mall during Black Friday, and at Hendricks, I think the Black Friday sale was there and the price was there, and then I scratched off and the original price was cheaper than the Black Friday price. So that's the other thing I feel. We just think it's Black Friday and we jump in, but that's not actually, they're actually making more sales.
People are, and I think there's such a sad part to this that people don't see, that a lot of people think, oh, Black Friday, we're going to get cheaper, but they buy the stuff on credit cards or whatever, and guess what? You're paying so much interest on the stuff. Is it really Black Friday? Are you really getting it cheaper? I mean, so people put themselves in debt to get Black Friday stuff, and then, then they take longer to pay it off. They're in bigger trouble. Then they have to sell this thing off. I don't know. For me personally, I'm not a fan of Black Friday. If I find something on Black Friday that I can get and I can afford it or whatever, I'll buy
and
it.
you researched it before though and know the actual price.
Yeah.
So when you see it cheaper,
because there's something that I want, so I'm waiting for this thing and to see if it is on Black Friday. Like, this is the first time I've ever will be participating. It's like, I'm waiting for Black Friday for this one thing because my husband told me, no, I can't have it for Christmas. You know, but going into stores and stuff, we've seen the footage of people breaking down doors and running over each other. For me, if I go into a shop, I stand at the door and I look where the queues are. If the queue is more than 3 or 4 people, I don't go in there because I know I don't want to stand. I'm impatient. So I'm not going to go stand in the line for something for 3 hours or fight someone for it because, it's cheap or whatever. Obviously, Black Friday has changed a lot now with everything being online and all of that. But I think people need to consider that, can I afford it? Do I really need it? And will it work out for me in the long run? That's my stance on Black Friday.
Hectic. So this it's quite cool to hear the different takes on Black Friday. But it always brings up that question of consumerism. Do we buy more than we need? Are we going for the prices? Do the prices even justify that anyway? So this group, they did a survey on 1,203 South Africans about, are you shopping the Black Friday sales? Why or why not? So we had 7.4% that said yes, because I'm bored.
Like, really?
Yes. And then we had yes, I think they're great value, and that was 29%. Then there was yes, no specific reason why, that was 10%. No retailers inflate prices before sales, that was a 13.2%. I think those are entrepreneurs who probably said that.
Yeah.
We've got no, the products I want aren't discounted, that's 7.3%. No, I've never even heard of Black Friday, 2%. I just ask, where have you been? And then the last one was no, but no specific reason why, and that was 30.7%. I found this quite interesting.
The one that says the products I want aren't discounted. Isn't it funny how it's like already the 40 Rand things that is now 10 Rand? It's like I didn't want it in the first place.
Yeah.
So what is the Black Friday for? Is it for the products we really want? I really want a TV, guys. I just want to say. So I'm scoping around. I'm looking for a knockout Black Friday sale price on a TV, and I haven't seen one yet. So I don't know.
Like how we were? We didn't have a TV for the first 2 years of marriage.
Yeah, like we're out here watching on our laptops. Like, do we really need a TV?
We did that for the first 2 years of our marriage.
Do you know what I mean?
One day I came home and there was flowers and a TV. I was so excited.
Oh, man.
No TV in the beginning of your marriage. I am a big advocate for that. That just makes you guys more intertwined.
Why'd you have a smile like that? You're like, no TV in the first years of it.
Yeah.
You had a TV? I used to come watch TV by you.
Yeah, but we had the thought of a TV first of all. We had the thought of a TV. It was mounted, mind you, but you had to sit right in front of it to see it. And then I barely ever watch TV. So for me, and Xavier wanted one in the room. I was like, that's not happening. That's not happening. Or we have one in our room today, but no one switches it on. It's always off because I feel like it shouldn't be there. But I was gonna say something about this, and then
Sorry.
Yeah, I just think
You
it's going to be quite interesting because now everyone's doing these Black Friday consumer studies. Another one just came out. I think, I'm trying to remember which publication I saw it on, but they were expecting that Black Friday this year might have more participants than last year, and by a great significant number. But I always just ask myself, when these studies are done, who do they research?
Yeah.
Because I know they'll always tell you the number of people, but in which area? Was this a cross-section of the whole country, or was this a cross-section
Did
of
you go
Johannesburg?
to City Mall also?
Yeah, like
Or
where did
go
you
to
do the
Southgate?
studies? So I'm looking forward to seeing what we're going to see this Black Friday.
So what I wanted to say just now was that my sentiments about Black Friday is that it's not the stuff that you want, the TV, the nice hairdryer or whatever. It's not that stuff. It's really for shops to get rid of their old stock.
Oh, I know what you want now that you mentioned it.
Hey, private jokes. We want to know. We want to know.
So I've been scouting for this thing for the longest time, and
Yeah.
I really, really wanted. So when I was going through like a bit of the reviews and people were bringing it out, because I saw this a couple of years back on a YouTube video, but I didn't know it was available in South Africa. And then in this one group that I'm in,
Online shopping, you don't have
Go
to
away.
wait for it to be in South Africa.
I'll go away. Let me just finish my statement before it goes away. And then people were saying, no, it's on takealot.com. So it's a split-in trimmer. So it doesn't cut your hair per se, the length of your hair, but it just literally just cuts off the little split ends in between.
So it's
your
like
hair.
a hair iron.
It looks like a glorified hair iron, but there's like blades inside that literally just cuts off the little
So
split
you
ends.
still do this?
Yeah, you still do this with your hair. And I've been wanting this because I know it will just be amazing for my little girl's hair as well. So I've been looking for it the whole time. And no, I don't do online shopping. I am that old school person. I want to go into the shop, I want to see it, I want to see the
Feel
quality,
it.
and tell the person, I'm bringing this
You
back.
don't want to wish where you order it and it comes
And it
with a
comes
little
like this,
sample?
yes. I've actually never ordered online before. So yeah, that's my little secret. Can I just bring Ma in here? Ma
Yes.
Joan Hendricks. She said, my phone died. She said that Black Friday is just a joke. Black Friday is just a joke. So we'll just get another one in. But that was the comment from Ma. Thanks, Ma, for commenting.
Hello, Ma.
I stayed along. I don't know why that came up when you said hello, Mom. Okay, so jumping into the next topic, which is similar.
Okay.
About our money. Anka found this article and it was really interesting about the middle class.
With Black Friday dawning on us, I thought that this would fit in very, very, you know, it will fit because a lot of people are struggling, you know, lockdowns. I won't say COVID because I know when people say COVID, then Xavier gets so irritated. It's not COVID. It is lockdown that's really implicated people because put people in tight positions because if there was no lockdown, given the fact that, you know,
I never
COVID,
thought about that.
yeah,
Makes sense.
because that has what has killed businesses, has killed the restaurant business. I mean, we had a chef Naldo here in the beginning of the week. You know, that killed a business. It's her dream. And so many other businesses had to close down.
Sorry.
You know,
When you said it's a dream, that's a dream.
Wait, what's the dream?
Having your own restaurant that is successful and striving.
it is a dream. You know, and
Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. bring it
moving
back.
along swiftly. So back to our topic. Yeah. And a lot of the middle class is what's been impacted because I think everyone has been impacted, but the middle class is taking the hardest hit. So many people have entered debt review. Debt review is not a bad thing. It must just be done right. I think that keeps your credit score going. That keeps you keeps you in the loop of keeping your assets intact and all of that. But there's so many people that have been impacted. But I think a lot of the times we still want to live. We still want to do things. We still want to buy houses. We still want to partake in Black Friday, even when we're just bored. You know, there's so many things. So what is your take on this? The middle class being in trouble.
I think that there was I think it was about 2 years ago, I think it was Saldru who did this study. But South Africa's middle class already is not a stable middle class. You've got a large proportion of our middle class where that's vulnerable, whereby one small thing happens, a family member dies, somebody loses their job, that family is immediately flung into politics. I mean, poverty.
The mind is just politics.
Like find it, Jess, is immediately flung into poverty. You know, then you've got our stable middle class that is feeling the brunt of heavy taxation, that's feeling the brunt of, you know, just, I read in the same article that the inflation is sitting at 24%, but our salaries are not increasing. It's the same amount of money for the same job. And these things are really hectic. So if you disturb South Africa's middle class, already it's almost 20 Rand per litre of petrol. This is deeply concerning.
Yes.
This is deeply concerning because if you have a strong middle class, you know, we keep the money flowing, you know, we keep the money flowing, groceries, whatever, petrol, you know, but my husband and I were having this conversation the other day, and he was saying to me, I don't know what the government expects from ordinary people. Like, at which point are you going to say, we need to change the way the price of petrol is determined? We need to worry about the price of food. You know, if we don't treat, look, we across the board, whoever you are as a South African, you need to feel like I can make it to the end of the month. But once debt starts to supplement ordinary things like food, that's when we're in trouble.
Sorry, I was shocked with the article to hear what South Africa sees as a middle class. And they were saying bringing a 10,000 Rand income home to a 20,000 Rand. I just want to know how, if that's our middle class, I don't want to know because if you think about a bond or rent and middle
Medical
class
aid
is 10,000 Rand.
Right?
What the heck? Obviously, we're in big trouble. Because
and there's other expenses like medical
if
aid,
you have kids, there's school fees.
car insurance, school fees. There's all these things. So if you could bring in 10,000 Rand, and you have to cover all these things, how is that
And when
justified
you
as
do
being
have
middle
a
class?
car, your insurance doesn't pay out if you don't have tracker. Everything is just the build up. So then what's the point of having insurance? Because now how do I afford a house, food, kids, insurance on the car? You're not even by just petrol now.
You're telling me I
Insurance
must
and
save
tracker.
also.
Yeah. Because remember, what if anything happens, if the geyser bursts, if something happens, then what? Where does that come from? You still have to cover that as well. When something happens, your child breaks a leg at school or something can happen. And is our middle class prepared for that? No. Speaking as being part of the middle class, no, we aren't prepared for that.
And sorry, also with that, I want to know what the middle class, right? I don't know, guys, have you been getting random phone calls about debt?
Yes, every
Can
single
I help
day.
you pay for your debt?
Yeah.
This is something that also came up in the article with how so many new companies have opened. Can I help you pay for the debt you already have? But now you have to pay them back at interest. What's your take on that? Is that not just debt in debt?
Yeah, that's closing one hole by creating another hole. So how the debt review happens, and if you're at a reputable company and you're with one that's already long-standing and working with banks, you can really help yourself, because what that then means is that yeah, because I mean, we're human and we want things, and things break and you want to replace them, and then you have 100,000 Rands worth of debt, but you know what, if I don't see it, it's not there, and I need this now. So there's this perpetual thing that it just keeps on happening, whereas debt review stops that. They consolidate your debt. They, depending on where you are financially, and obviously one party must work if you in community and property and all of that, and one party must work. So what they then do is they reduce the debt up to no interest on the actual debt that is being accumulated, and then you pay that installment. So they basically freeze your debt and then you pay it off, but you're not allowed to make more debt.
Yeah.
So you're not allowed to take out another credit card, or you're not allowed to go to Edgar's make a...
So you're
make a-
paying them off, but you don't have access to finances now.
No. So they take a portion of your salary, depending,
Okay.
because obviously they have to leave something for you to be able to live. But
But you're already in middle class, so you already don't have anything to live.
So that's where it comes in. So this is what, and I've worked with debt review. This is what I've seen a lot of people do. Like they run it up, buy 2 houses, buy 2 cars, and they're into debt review. So that means the debt is consolidated. But say your expenses is you pay 40,000 rand, you get paid 40,000 rand, but your expenses comes out to 39,000 rand. You haven't eaten or anything. Now you enter debt review, they reduce that to maybe 20,000 rand. So you're only paying 20,000 rand for all your assets and everything that you've accumulated.
Yeah.
Now you get to live off of the other 20,000 rand. Given you must live off of the 20,000 rand. You can't now.
You can't get the extra.
Yeah. So if you, I'm not saying go do that, guys. I'm not advocating
We're
that.
just
I'm just
discussing the
discussing.
article.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a lot of people run away from debt review because they don't want to be blocked from.
They don't want to be blacklisted.
Yeah, they'll be black. So you won't be blacklisted.
Yeah.
So you just can't enter debt review for the period of time. When you finish, you get a clearance certificate and your name is clear, and then you can. Debt review came in as a replacement for insolvency. So insolvency back in the day was just crappy. And it took you, I think, about a couple of years, if I'm not mistaken, to get that off your name, and then you could start your life over again. This just replaces that and reduces the amount, and you don't have a bad name. You just can't make debt within that period of time, which is what you don't want because you're trying to get rid of it anyway, you know. I'm not an advocate for it, for debt review or whatever. It's an option. I think it's important that people know your financial options and all of that, especially in the times that we are in right now. I know it's Christmas. It's silly season. People want to make sure everyone has gifts. You want your kids. I mean, my kid wants something that is impossible. But you have to come back and you want to please people. And you also want to feel like, oh, it's also Christmas for me. Let me spoil
That's
myself.
why you must protect the Santa. Because when Santa doesn't come through, we blame Santa. Santa didn't bring it. Santa must have forgotten. That's why Santa left
I
us.
will wait.
As I take notes.
I will wait for your
Protect
child
Santa.
to reach 6 or 7 years old, and they will tell you, did you buy it or did Santa buy it? Because I saw you bringing it in.
No, that's why we bring in middle of the night. We'll stay up until 2 o'clock and
We've tried. So she's reasoned this thing out already, and she's already telling the little one, I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. Because, we've got tall orders for this Christmas, and
Ish.
I'm just trying to live out here. I'm just trying to have a happy Christmas with, if we have to go to pep stores for each one, just something small, just to feel like you got a gift, but I want to go on holiday. I want to do things with my life this year. Stuff we couldn't really do because, in the beginning of marriage, you hustle your way through.
I wanted to, on this topic,
Hello.
I wanted to ask Chase, maybe you can add a lot of input here. I know that stats is going up for young, not young couples, because no matter what time you get married, they are going against having kids because of finances being so tight. So people are now deciding, okay, I want the marriage, but let's not have kids. Based on stuff like this, everybody's struggling. We're only making this amount of money. This is now petrol. This is food. This is... So what's going to happen to us if we bring another person into the world? And how will I be able to raise this person? Because obviously when you have a child, you want the best. So what your parents did for you, you want to do greater for your kids, because obviously the legacy must go on. You can't give the same level of, it's not going to go anywhere. So what's your take on that?
So I'm one of those people, hey? I have to say, I know myself, and I don't deal well with drowning. I don't drown well. There are people who can drown well. We throw caution to the wind. God will provide. I know God will provide. But I don't know where.
Drown well. Like, nicely put.
I don't do it well. Maybe this is a season in my life where I have to learn that you're not carrying alone, you're carrying with a husband. I fully understand. But my goal for my kids is really to bring them into a season of our family where it's not a struggle to give them the things that they need. That is my idealistic picture. But life is always just going to throw these spanners into the works. What happens if you were planning and then... Yeah. I mean, a friend of mine now, a pregnancy happened and the family planning, basically you can see it was God's plan, because the family planning, the contraceptive, that baby went past that contraceptive. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm just at a point now in my life where it's like, look,
If it happens.
plan as best as possible, but also be ready for change. But I have to say, in South Africa's current climate, guys, it's difficult to think of bringing a baby, because you guys will know once a baby comes, you can't say to the baby, oh, okay, wait, next month I'll get you your nappies next month. You can't say that
Can't
to
say
a
that.
baby. So
can't.
I'm one of those, unfortunately.
But you know what? Having said that, and I, at the point where I am now, I'm like we've said before, I am broody, but I know I can't have one like now or ever. I've got to, and that's that. But the things that I've learned is that you're never ready for a baby. You are never.
I knew
never
someone was going to
ready.
say that.
Never. And
It's the same
Yeah.
with marriage.
yeah, you're never ready.
True, yeah.
And it's an on-the-job training kind of thing. And things just happen while you're busy trying to live this life. And yes, you'll be drowning. Yes, it's part of life. There must be hardships so that you can understand how certain things work and appreciate when the hardships go. But you will never be ready for a child. I always thought, no, when I'm so 32, and I'm looking back.
Eish.
Yeah.
How was it gonna be?
Yeah, no, it wouldn't have been great if I started out now. It wouldn't have been great.
Yeah.
Could I have waited a little bit? Yes, I could have waited a little bit. I'm an advocate for that in marriage. Wait a little bit, get to know each other. Chase each other around, go on holidays, but don't wait too long. Don't wait too long. Don't wait till you are almost at the stage of menopause.
And I'm an advocate, you can still do that.
Yeah, she's an advocate. Take a
can
crazy
still
drive to
run
Durban. Take a
around.
7-hour drive to Durban in the morning and come back in the night.
You can still run around and get to know each other.
So essentially, what you're saying about it is, Jess, it's time to learn how to drown, girl. It's time to learn.
It's part of life. You can't get away from
Drown
it.
better.
Drown better. Moving along. No one want to drown. We want, let's say it's coming up with the Kardashians now, but
Yeah.
Such a funny topic for
we
me.
want the Kardashian money. Why must I struggle? I don't want to drown. Let's just start off with the nanny. Then you can run around all you want, Anka.
I am not an advocate for a nanny. I'm okay. They must go to school.
No, before school. Okay, so it was really funny for me when E-News posted this, right? And a lot of people had something to say about it. So obviously we know Kourtney Kardashian was with, I almost said Travis Scott. Was with Scott Disick. I just got the Scott part. Scott Disick for years and years and years. And they have 3 kids together, right?
Didn't they have more?
No.
I thought they had like whole school bus full of kids.
It's because
think it
when
was
all
3,
the kids
yeah.
is together, then it looks like it's one parent's kids. But they have the 3 kids together, right? But in all the time they've been together, he has asked her so many times to get married. And so many times she said, nope, not on my plate. And before she met Travis, his name is Travis,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You see why I got Travis
Travis
Scott?
Scott.
Got you.
So Travis,
Scott.
no, his name.
Travis Scott.
Isn't it
No,
Travis
Travis
Barker?
Scott is
Hold on.
Kylie's guy.
Hold on.
Travis Barker, yes, it's
Travis
him.
How many
Barker.
Scotts out here? I don't know. Goodness.
Travis Barker. So before him, she said she does want another child. But
Barker.
if she had
Barker.
to have another child, it must be Scott's child. Because she doesn't want her kids to have different dads, right? So this became funny when she actually fell in love with someone. And he became, I think that's what he was riding off the whole time. Like, yeah, I can go back whenever I want to. I'm in with the family. I'm this and that and that. So now she's like fully in love and she's engaged, right? So they went to a wedding this weekend and both were there. So Scott was there and obviously she went with Travis. But the reason why the article was funny is people found it funny that Scott's behavior was like, I'm dodging. They mustn't see me.
What's dodging?
Dodging like,
Oh,
Avoiding.
dodge.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
that's the English way. He was dodging the whole time. So every time they would come into a section,
Yeah.
the next one goes.
Uh-huh.
So that's what happened constantly. You are throwing me off my words. I don't know what to
Sorry.
say. Okay, jump in now because I'm now not here.
So wait, okay. So at the wedding, wherever they were, he would move away.
He would move away.
Huh.
So to avoid the whole
He
the whole
avoided
thing,
them
yeah.
completely.
I have to say this happened to me one time, but I wasn't engaged to Thokozani yet, but so I'm still friends with somebody I met when I was still dating a previous partner. Why do I feel uncomfortable saying ex? So they are best friends. So my ex's best friend was getting married, right? But we've remained friends throughout the years, and this is always what makes these things complicated. But now my ex was there, but now my current boyfriend was there, and the whole time we all just avoided each other. There was a moment where I went to the bathroom and the bridal team was coming down and I passed my ex. We just didn't have anything to say to each other, but it was mad awkward. And we couldn't not both be at the wedding because we both love our friend. So it was just orcs. We were dodging.
This is very awkward, and you know my stance on this, and she just rolls her eyes because I'm friends with all my exes and with Xavier's exes. Like, I'm very
What?
well friends with one
As
of
in, they
Whoa,
chill, they
whoa.
go on
So
holiday together.
What?
I'm just saying, this is my stance, and just hear me out.
We listening.
No, Anka's got the keys to life, guys. She knows how to drown. She knows how to be friends with exes. Like,
My thing is this, and take it for what it's worth. I'm not throwing shade. I'm not saying anything like negative about it. For me, this is my personal stance. If we have to avoid each other or we can't greet each other, then there's still something there, or there's still something between the
No,
two
but
of
what
them.
if the breakup was really ugly?
But this is what I want to say. There's undealt with issues. For me, is you've dated this person, like with Xavier's exes. You've dated this person, but you
Yeah.
guys left each other.
Yeah.
So that's that. And maybe for me it's different because I didn't see him with his exes, so it wasn't a thing that I saw them together.
Yeah.
Because I'm from a complete different country, and neither did he. And he's friends with my ex. He stayed for a week with my ex in Cape Town. Do you get what I'm saying?
Did he
So-
enjoy it though?
Hectic.
yeah.
Wow.
They friends, they speak. They
Yeah.
speak. So what
Yeah.
I'm saying is deal with the undealt with issues. I don't understand. Like for me, I just can't
For
fathom
me,
it.
from my side, I feel it's disrespectful to your new partner, because even if I'm not saying you, I'm just saying in general. In general, for me, I feel like there was a connection there, and it's like, if a girl, for example, this girl, her intentions, even like with your husband or something, the way she greets, that's
Yes.
but too flirtatious. And that's from outsiders.
Yeah.
I can't look you in the face and know you guys used to kiss or something like that. That
taking
for
that
me
too far.
makes it uncomfortable.
Yeah.
The thought of the way we lay on the couch. Have you laid with her like that on the couch?
Daar is julle probleem. Daar is julle probleem.
It can be my problem, it's fine. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I don't expect my husband to sit in the company, because I feel it's disrespectful, because if I'm thinking that as a man, how is, men are much more, this is my woman, don't talk to my woman, what kind of a thing. If a guy looks at you, he's angry, you don't even know the guy, but there's a feeling of it's mine,
Yeah.
kind of a thing. So I feel like if I feel like that towards women, how much more does a man feel if,
For me, I just want to bring in Jess here. Hi, never,
Hi, Jess.
Anka. Not on my watch, girl.
No, that's not. I think now, when they say percentage of the world, I think Anka is that 0.0000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000
defense, you have just equated me to an atom. What I'm saying is, in my defense, there's other dynamics that's at play here. First of all, there was no physical, there's no crossing the line, there was no sexual relations.
Yeah, there's 3 kids.
Yeah, so hear me out, right? Second of all, it's about you being secure.
Sorry, can I say, are you more confident because you both got married virgins?
Yes.
If it had to be different.
I probably would have had a different view. So that's what I'm saying.
wanted to
I'm saying there's other things for me
That's
personally.
why you're that confident.
This is why I'm that confident. The other thing is also that there is a certain element of insecurity. So that's where your partner comes into play to give you that. And you should be secure in yourself to say to your partner, if there were sexual relations, it would have been different. I would have been okay with the person greeting. I would have been okay with the person being in our vicinity. But I wouldn't have been friends with the person because clearly there was something more going. And that's a soul tie. So that's different. That I do agree with. So my situation is different from most other
But
people's.
I also just feel like you and your husband could have an agreement. Your husband only sees you and you only see. But you don't know what that ex is thinking. You don't know, is that ex thinking I still have a chance? Is that ex thinking, okay, if we're friends and you have a fight and we discuss, I can add my 10 cents to bring problems in the house. I'm not saying your household. We were speaking about in general.
Yeah.
So there's those kind of aspects as well where you could be happy in your marriage, but the person from outside, you don't really know what is their mind thinking. And now are they comparing their marriage to my marriage and now saying, Ish, if you didn't come along, that would have been my life.
That's why there's rules of engagement. There's rules of engagement. So here is when we became friends, she was my friend. She spoke to me. She wouldn't call him on his phone. She wouldn't speak to him or whatever. Her husband, because she's also married, and Xavier became friends. And we became friends. So there's rules of engagement. I wouldn't, if they were...
I'm just saying, not towards your friends, but I'm just saying there's tactic to everything.
And also, the human heart, guys. There's even a biblical scripture about the heart. You know, you just don't know what's happening in another human being's heart. I once got an apology from an ex on DM on Instagram, and it was really heartfelt. But he was saying, can it get to a point where if I see you in public, can it not be okay? Can we at least just greet? And I said to him, but the last time I saw you in public, I did greet, type of thing. However, it can get complicated because you don't understand what the other partner is thinking, what that partner is thinking, what my partner is thinking. I just think it's something that two people need to discuss. You guys decide what are our boundaries with our exes. And if you have a certain boundary, I must have the same boundary. And we mustn't get to a stage where the other person is questioning, but this is getting a little bit too close here or whatever. So there are people
also,
who
the
will
thing is,
cut off.
I go back to Will Smith's story in terms of, are you agreeing for the house to be okay, no fights at home, or are you agreeing because you really feel it's okay, or are you agreeing to just go kind of a thing?
That's true,
Because there's also that with every other thing, not just exes, where some couples are like, you know what, I'm tired of speaking about this, do what you want to do kind of a thing. There's that aspect as well. And what Jess is also saying is that where I agree with, you don't know what the other person, I could be over you wholeheartedly, but you thinking of me, how long, asking me a DM, can we at least greet? That tells me you still thinking. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Just hold on to that little bit of hope. She at least still sees me, kind of a thing. If you like their picture, oh my word, she at least still liked my picture. I know people that have exes. They're in new relationships and everything, but they go and look, did this person like my picture? Because they still have that connection of, we shared so much together. We were together for so many years. And I think that also makes a difference with the exes. How long have you been together? But my mind still goes to, even if there wasn't a sexual relationship, my mind goes to, did you hold hands in the car? Because if I put my hand on the gear, Ashley's hand is also always on the gear, then I always wonder how many people have done this before. So it doesn't even go to the sexual side. My mind's just like, I can't be in the same room with somebody you've been with.
Yeah, I think
it's awkward.
Ideally,
I just think it makes it so much more difficult for you to just be okay wherever you go, because there was a time when Xavier's ex lived in the same vicinity, so I never really encountered her, but he would time and time and again. Jay, you were with him the one day when you guys encountered her, and she greeted, but whenever I was there, she wouldn't greet. She'd greet him, and when she sees him, she's like,
but you see, that's what I'm saying. You
so
don't know what the other person is thinking.
But that's why I'm saying that there's undealt with issues. I'm not saying they should be friends. What I'm saying is that when you get to the point where you guys don't want to greet or whatever, I'm questioning how
Yeah,
did
but
you not
I'm
deal with it?
also questioning that friend that wants to be friend. They have undealt issues. Because
That's-
why do I still want to be in your life? There is millions and millions millions of people in this world. Why must we be friends?
I'm not advocating for a friendship, but if a friendship does get from there, I mean, I've got my friendships going. What I'm saying is there's a healthy way of doing it. Also, it's so important to communicate with your person. Like you were saying that, what are you what is your agreement? Me and Xavier's agreement, and because we both think the same way, I feel like, why are you hiding it? Why can't I see the messages? Why,
Yes.
why are you two avoiding each other in any case? If you are purposely avoiding this person, that tells me you've got issues. So we've really opened it up like that. So and there are times like one of my friends, we dated, he got married, and me and Xavier sort of not counsel, but we spoke to him about a few things. Do you get what I'm saying? Those are healthy relationships. I'm not an advocate for people just being friends with your ex, because first of all, not everybody is emotionally secure and mature enough to do something like that, especially if your partner isn't on the same level as you. There's so many dynamics that goes with this. I'm just saying, as much as I am the atom size of the world's population that does this, I've got these dynamics to where we are and how we've got to this point. I'm just peace. I don't have stress with nobody.
I went to a bridal shower. It was my cousin's bridal shower, the one who's getting married tomorrow. And one of the elderly ladies said, relationships and marriage are really for mature people. If you're going to bring petty things, you won't make it. And I thought about that. I really reflected about, because there are things I can really be petty about. But in this situation, I'd love to get to a point where I understand what co-parenting is like with somebody who I know for a fact there's still a lot between these two that I don't know, they probably still need to sort out. But for the sake of the kids, somebody's going to need to get along with somebody, And I mean, if what's her name? Courtney. If Courtney and Travis are getting married, welcome to Scott, because Scott is going to be in your life forever, and there's nothing you can do.
Scott has not been the perfect father, so...
But
There's nothing they can do.
He is tied to
this
that
triangle's going to be here forever.
Yeah, I do agree with you. And I just want to point out, and I know there's so many people that are making it work, people who have got kids and who have got blended families, they are making it work, and big ups to you. But for you who are just starting out and trying to date and all of that, this is why it's so important that you make the proper decisions, because marriage in itself, like here we're speaking about you are married with no children, nothing, and we're speaking about the exes and the awkwardness and all of that, and bringing that dynamics into marriage. It's already difficult. It's already work. It's things you need to discuss about. So imagine if there were other dynamics such as kids, previous actual partners that you've crossed the line with. So before you get there, save yourself the trouble, because that is one less thing you have to deal with. Save yourself the trouble. That's just a nugget from me.
Nugget well taken. But yeah, I'm still
Nuggets.
I don't know what the next person is thinking, so I'm not thinking for you when we're in a room.
And that's okay. That's okay, because that's how you feel. It's
I
your
believe
opinion.
people come into your life for a season, and once you pass that season,
it don't mean we don't have to greet
to
each
the
other.
yellow pages.
I was thinking of yellow pages as well.
Okay, let's go run through our last topic quickly. So, last topic, Jess, you found all these tweets, right?
Yeah,
About,
I was spamming
yeah,
Vange with tweets yesterday.
Like literally, I only took half of them.
I found this so interesting because generally a lot of people right now are just tired. And sometimes the tiredness doesn't come across in feeling sleepy, but just in, I read somewhere the other day that apparently sleep has a lot to do with your ability to manage emotions. I was like, what? But just rest as a subject. Rest, not just sleep, but rest as in being able to take your mind somewhere else where you don't have to think about the constant day-to-day of life. But these were what some people on Twitter were saying. And this is just in a week. This is just in a week and the past 3 days, 6 days or so. So the first one by Zinhle, year-end fatigue is dealing with me decisively. My body shuts down so easily at night. I literally have been passing out at the first yawn lately. I take so long to fall asleep, usually. Then we've got Mukhabo. Mukhabo said, Really wish corporates could extend us some grace during this time of the year. There's extended long COVID, whether indirectly or directly, year-end fatigue and decision fatigue. Just the feeling of feeling tired of deciding. I was like, Mohabo, I'm with you. Yeah? We had Kate who said, I miss my family throughout the year, but as the festive season approaches, I feel more inclined to spend it alone. And this highlights maybe you're feeling so tired from the year, but what happens with all the family expectations that come with Christmas on top of...
Because you're not really resting during that time.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a family that's doing everything at home. You're washing dishes, you're tidying the floor,
It's not a holiday.
keeping
It's a
up
myth.
conversation is tiring as well.
You know, you must make turkey there, you must make curry there, you must, we've got Shonisani, who said, just another vitamin B12 injection to help with the year-end fatigue. Let's keep it working and rocking and final push, right? And I won't go into the last two, but what I found with everybody's concept of year-end fatigue, you get somebody like Shonisani who's like, hey man, I'm going to push. And you get others who just can't anymore. So how do we effectively deal, do you ladies think, with that feeling of, I just don't have any more? And they were saying that there's a fundamental difference between year-end fatigue and complete burnout from a whole year. And on top of everything we have to deal with as adults, there's a pandemic as well, and a lockdown, and a COVID, and a this and a that. So what would you guys say to anyone who just feels like, I don't have anything left? How can they rest, recoup, and feel recharged for the year that's coming with all of that?
Do you know what like for me, I find it weird how South Africa actually lives within the year, where other countries, their Christmas is literally just a little break for Christmas, but it's not like it's year end, everything must finish
year
now.
starts technically
The year,
then.
do you know what I'm trying to say? So I find it weird that how our minds is structured in such a way to tell you it's year end, switch off. Because if they didn't tell us it's the 31st of December, why don't we feel like this on the 1st of February as a collective, for example? So I find it so weird how our minds is actually switched. So even with the working day, you could be going, and you actually look at the time and you see it's 3:30. And automatically your mind says, I'm tired, I want to go home. So something like that. I just wanted to bring in the factor that we, I think, with our minds, tell ourselves it's now time to be tired, because we don't look after ourselves throughout the year as it goes. If you took breaks the way, because remember, even with lockdown, when they open something, we all ran in for what can we do now. As you had this chance to relax or something, but you keep pump, and then you realize after all that pumping, I don't want to be left out, and you feel like, in that time I should have actually A, B, and C. So I think if we get to a point in our lives where we change our mindset that we don't just have to wait for Christmas. I know it's the longest time we get off work, but you get leave days as well. And we actually change the way we look at how can we take the whole year and space it out in such a way that we always have time to recoup and energize ourselves. A nice thing people do is there's some families that go on holiday every 3 months just for that. Let's get away from reality. And yes, everybody doesn't have the means to do that, but you can go for a picnic for the day and whatnot. But I think with Johannesburg specifically, we are such a fast-paced city that you're seen as lazy if you take that break just to recoup. I don't know, that's my thought about it. If we can, because, okay, I'm not specifically speaking about December now, but I mean like if as the years go and we change our mindset, the same way our mind is conditioned to think that at the end of the year we need to finish certain things, as we, even with goals in the new year, we only started in January. Why do we do that only in January as a collective? Because there is some people that do check themselves every now and then. But if we can condition our minds to say that let's not wait for one time period just because everybody else is doing it. But let's go ahead and see this is the kind of amount of sleep, if we can put it that way as well, that I need to feel energized. Let me take that one Saturday I was going to go. And there's nothing wrong. Remember the one day we were speaking about it also, where we were saying that there's no shame in saying, sorry, I can't make it to your party this weekend because I've been working all this time. I really just need to take a break.
Yeah.
That shame as well. We need to stop feeling shameful and risk our own health for the sake of other people.
And I think a lot of that is brought on with the fact that we've been conditioned in a certain way, because this is our culture. This is the culture we grew up in. I mean, I grew up in a culture where we just work all year round. I don't remember going on holidays with my parents. When I came here, that's when it was like, no, holidays are a thing. I'm like, oh, okay, we never had that. Because, you grow up in this culture and, your parents are just trying to struggle and hustle it out. And I think a lot of people just carries on with that culture. We need to just make ends meet. We need to provide for our family. We need to... But there's boundaries and there's certain ways to navigate that. But our culture doesn't allow us to navigate those opportunities, because it's like not only the CEO or the business owner or the person who really has a lot of money, they can go do that. But like you said, there are leave days during the day, and now we get to, okay, but I don't have money to go anywhere, so if I take leave, then I'm going to be stuck at home, and then I have to wash dishes and I have to do all of that. Fine. But there's me and Xavier, what we've been doing for the past couple of months, because past couple of Sundays really, to sort of spend time with the girls, and also like just have wholesome family time, because during the week we are busy a lot of the time. The kids are at school whole day. I've got the side hustle thing going. So what we've been trying to do is look at cheap options in Joburg to go. What can we do to go to Joburg? We went for the Lion Drive, and it's affordable if you go in with your own car. Lion Park, you need to pay us for that. And we were Googling, there are fun day activities that you can do that are really affordable. It doesn't have to be the mall, it doesn't have to be far out of your place. So Google the places and see what can you do.
It doesn't even have to go that far. If we all have supper, a lunch together as a family, like we did the other day when we were teasing, go on a cheap date each year at Ma, and then go as a couple and just have ice cream. Those kind. But I'm saying also, let's eat together, but then we go to the park and let the kids play. That's not even 5 rand.
You're not thinking the kids are in their own space and they are with you still. Find creative ways for outlets, and I think everyone is different. Not everyone does have the luxuries, but take the time out, take the kids out for a walk. And I those who know me should know that I absolutely loathe walking or running, because I ask you, if you did you go for a run? Run from what? Run from who? But since we've been in, where we're staying now, the kids get to be outside, and my oldest, she loves to go for walks, and she'll, can we go over the mountain? I'm like thinking any other way but the mountain. It's just a small hill that we go over, just and you walk through the parks and stuff, and through the houses and stuff. It's really safe, so they like to do that, and there's like a little jungle gym. And after that walk, I really feel revived, and you're like, okay, maybe the older generation had something going here, So take a walk. That's why a lot of people exercise. That's not my portion. It's not for me. But for you out there that can maybe, go for a jog or something, I encourage it, because I think it can help. Look, baby steps here.
It, but not for me.
Baby steps here. I've taken the walk. Okay, let's not expect too much here now. So find those different outlets. For me personally, I don't have work fatigue or anything like that. I, however, do have an emotional fatigue. I've got
kids fatigue.
I've got kids fatigue. There's been a lot that's been going on through this year, and yes, COVID has had its issues. But if you take COVID out of the situation, then you realize it's life accelerated. It's people die, people lose their lives, people lose things. It's life. Only you don't expect it to lose it in such a quick period of time, in such a short period of time. And then you find yourself, you have to deal with it. You have to grow up. You have to. So all of that, when that happens, I think it's so important to take the time to deal with it. Take the time to break away. And it's okay if you don't wash the dishes. It's okay if the kids are, breaking down the house for a little bit, because that's also the culture we grow in. You have to do certain things. You have to keep the house clean. You have to wash the dishes. The kitchen can't sleep like that. And all of these little things contribute to your emotional stability, your burnout, your fatigue. It contributes that.
And then the week before Christmas, you expected to spring clean.
You expected to spring clean. When I moved to Joburg, there was this thing of washing windows and walls. I'm like, what is this washing windows and walls? They take down the curtains. We must have new curtains. I don't understand that culture. I don't intend in taking part in that culture. But all of that, expectations that are placed by culture and all of that, you're an individual. Let me tell you, the laundry, I'm not saying leave it there for kingdom come. Yes, find your time to wash it. What I'm saying is, you don't have to do it tonight. It will wait for you tomorrow. No one's going to take it. No one's going to steal
I
it.
tried that and then it got too much. And then Ashley said, babe, you need to get a system.
What I'm saying is,
Don't tell me
yeah.
about the system.
So what I'm saying is, pace yourself. The dishes, yes, it's the grossest thing. I don't like dirty dishes. But believe you me, tonight if I'm feeling I just can't do this because I've got the kids. Now I must shout at the kids because the kids are on my case and I've got to clean it. Leave the dishes. I promise you, no one will steal it. No one will take it. They will wait for you till tomorrow morning. They will wait.
Yeah.
They'll be there. So what I'm saying is, pace yourself. Find a rhythm for yourself. And don't allow cultures and there's certain things you have to do. You have to work because you have to bring an income. But you've got extra time that you can sort of find a rhythm, navigate, and speak to your partner about it so that you two can find. I know that also other things that also add on to that is the husband's, oh no, I want a cooked meal, I want, the house must be clean. But I also work and I've also got the kids, I must mother. So find ways to get your rhythm and get your partner included in on that so that you guys can create your own culture and try to beat this thing because it's real. Fatigue is real.
Hey man, it is a real thing. You know, the other day I sat with myself and I asked, why are there some issues on the news that just make me so angry? I'm just so angry. And I had to take a step back and realize that, you know what, Jesne? Here's the sad thing about a lot of issues that are happening in the world. Yes, it's important. Have a stance. Believe what you believe. You know, open yourself up to other things. But at the same time, when something like it stabs you and you feel like you just got a whack immediately, what's happening? Like, what's happening with you? For many years, I've been a very objective kind of a person. But right now, like you were saying, life is so accelerated right now. Countries are making like these hectic decisions like out of nowhere. You know, you've got people on social media who are just so ready to backlash at everything. There's so much happening. Then you've got to find yourself with your partner. You've got to find yourself with life. And I've had a big transition year this year. And I said, you know what, Jess? I think it's time to just take a step back and allow things to just flow. Let things just flow through you. Not everything requires you to be a champion today. You know, and sometimes I feel that pressure to be championish. So I have told myself that until December, I'm only going to do work-wise what is necessary. I need just that time just to decompress. And then next year, we can get back to champion mode. But Robin Sharma speaks about it in his book, The 5 a.m. Club. This is not, you know, professional, psychological, whatever, but it is backed up by a lot of science about the cycles of elite performance. That the human body does well when it exerts and then it rests. Exerts and then it rests. Exerts and then it rests. So what you were both saying is so important that however rest, you know what recharges you. So just find the thing that recharges you. Do a lot of that until you can get back to Super Saiyan mode.
Don't wait for December.
Yeah, and maybe that is one of the problems with South Africans is that maybe we just don't know how to rest in between those pushes. Like if you've had 6 big projects at work and no rest in between, you do need a break. You know, I used to fall into that culture a lot of go, 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 go. And I literally burned out. 4 months at that job felt like 2 years. Literally. I had spasms in my body. I was sick. I had bronchitis. It was just a mess, you know. And we only have one body. We're not going to get another one. We only have one family. We're not going to get another one. Blended, nuclear, however your family is. So I think it's just a time for us to just rest, let things flow, breathe, and then come back to. But if you are Shonisani and all you need is vitamin B12 and you are sharp, listen, we envy you, girl. You go for the world. But for the rest of us, amen, it might be just time to take a break.
I think also South Africa needs to look at the work environment as well, because if you look at other countries, they have sleeping offices to take a nap. They have certain things. There's nothing wrong in other countries. If I've had enough, I'm working overtime, but I'm sitting on my desk and I'm resting for a bit. We don't have that culture. So, but then also when we do something, we take it too far, because that
is our culture.
nap would be.
I was gonna say, can we put a nap pod there in the corner?
So exactly. So I think that there is certain things we can look at, because we're also trying to catch up with the rest of the world with the working hustle, but we're not taking the other positive parts with it.
Also, I think it's Finland. I know I have a friend that stays there now. I think they have 3 or 4 working days, and the rest is just, and they don't work a whole day like we would go from 8 to 4, because that you don't get much. You can't say that productively you've done 8 hours worth of work. I don't think anyone can say that. Me personally, if I come in at the morning after 12, there's nothing you can do with there's nothing. Don't ask me anything. Don't tell me nothing. Send me a message. I'll deal with it tomorrow before 12. That's how, my brain is wired. I don't know. Some people, like Xavier's more, don't speak to me before 12. Speak to me afterwards. So people are wired differently. And I think it's important that our culture the South African culture does need to come along to see what ways can we accommodate our employees. Like other first world countries like Sweden, all those other countries have done something for the employees. Like they've only got certain working hours. They're only allowed to work a certain period of time during the week and all of that. But then countries like us follow countries like America, where they believe in working till the bone. You have second jobs, 200 shifts, working 70 hours per week, or however they want to say, like, and we need to start weighing it up to sort of to accommodate people, because I feel like then a lot more people will be productive.
But yeah, we went way, way, way over our time. But thank you for those that stayed along, and for those that came back after taking a break.
Breaks are important.
Rest, Bafuthu, rest.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We had a lot of hot topics today, but we do it all in love and in harmony. And we thank you so much for supporting us. We thank you so much for supporting us, and we hope to see you next week again. We thank Joan as well for entrusting us yet again with another week, and see you next week.
Whoop,
Ciao.
whoop. Bye.
In the shadows, as I look upon my life, in the shadows, there's a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dream. In the shadows, as I look upon my life, in the shadows, there's a passion inside.